What's up, guys? Today's part 2 of off-season news, and this time we have a special guest, Brent Billick, who might be joining us again sometime in the near future.
Hi guys.
So this is part 2 of off-season news, and if you haven't seen part 1, it's going to be in the video card in the top right of your screen.
But other than that, let's get right into it with the Braves. Is Marcell Ozuna coming back? The good part of having Marcell Ozuna in a one-year contract is at the beginning of the season, you can just see if he's good or bad. But if he's a flop, you can always he's a free agent again. So yeah, but if he has a monster season, should you sign him back, or should you be careful that he has a flop season? You shouldn't know. But how much will he want? That's a big question.
Yeah, that's the real question.
Money is always the answer.
How about the Marlins, though? They actually did pretty well. Are they going to make a push? They don't have a replacement yet for Michael Hill, but whoever replaces him has a lot of young talent, and maybe that might be a good sign that they have some money to spend, considering that they just picked up Starling Marte's $12 million option, something that every team would have done. Did I say something not every team would have done?
But like you saw in part 1, Q's vocabulary is insane.
Exactly.
Totally.
But they are fresh off of a playoff appearance after sweeping the Cubs in the wild card. Completely destroyed them.
How about the Mets, eh? With their new owner. Sandy Alderson is coming in to steer the ship as the club president. But what does that mean for GM Brody Van Wagenen? That's a weird name. Manager Luis Rojas? It has been many, many years since the Mets had an owner not named Wilpon. And this is a team with lots of questions anyway. Your guess may be as good as mine.
The Phillies. Can they bring back JT Realmuto? Bryce Harper obviously wants him back, but Harper is not in fact the one writing the checks. The Phillies want Realmuto back, but it's strange time in baseball, and he's one of the top or the 3 few free agents. My vocabulary is just as good as Q's.
Yeah.
And you call mine bad.
Hey, I
Mine
never said
is
it was bad. I
obviously
said
the
it was
best.
super good.
Mine is obviously
And
the
he's
worst.
one of the top 2 or 3 free agents on the market. And if they don't bring him back, how in the world is next year's team supposed to be better than the one that just missed the playoffs?
How about the Nationals, though? Is this the year they transition from the World Series team? The Nationals understandably brought back most of their breakthrough 2019 roster for 2020, but it did not work out. Injuries were obviously a factor there, and this team is not going as far as Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer can take it. But still, it looks like it might be the time to figure out what this franchise looks like in, say, 2025.
Wow. Okay. Let's move on to the National League Central. Brewers. Okay, how about Josh Hader? Hader has been a trade candidate for 2 years now, but the Brewers have never been able to pull the trigger, which makes sense. He's an incredible pitcher, after all, but the emergence of Devin Williams could make him more expandable as he gets more expensive, and there isn't a team in baseball that wouldn't want Hader. He has 3 years of arbitration left, meaning he won't be a free agent until after the 2023 season.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, very true.
I know, I'm great.
Cardinals. Is Yadier Molina really going to leave? The battery of Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright has been. I'm great vocabulary. I have great English and great vocabulary.
Yeah.
You should just go straight to Harvard.
Exactly. But they're both free agents this offseason and have seemed open to going somewhere else. They were both key drivers, and even at their advanced age, to sending the Cardinals to the playoffs this year. And while they might have replacements, it's still difficult to imagine them wearing any other uniform but the birds on the bat. That said, everybody said the same thing about Albert Pujols too.
Okay, I am very sorry if anyone who is watching this is wearing headphones right now, because Rohan's volume just went skyrocket.
I think
That
he
was
actually put his mic in his mouth.
I did not.
okay, but back on track. How about the Pirates though? Are they gonna be able to start the development process right? Is it possible no team in baseball is hurt more by not having a normal minor league season than the Pirates? Who are trying to help revamp their whole operation? With the big league team further away than ever, with a leader in Ben Cherington with a proven track of success at roster building, they could really use some sense of normalcy. See, this is where my
Nice
vocabulary is spot on.
vocabulary. You're going to Harvard
In the minor leagues
tomorrow.
this year. You already got a scholarship.
I know. The red. Wait, no.
Grant, what do you got to say?
And he was key to just about everything the Reds did this year.
I think all of your audio
And
just cut out for
Yeah.
the first sentence or two. But
Struggles with online.
yay. Okay.
alright, so can you restart, please?
Reds. Did Trevor Barrow stay? Obviously, Barrow is the top pitcher on the market. And he was key to just about everything the Reds did this year. And he has said he's up for coming back to Cincinnati. But when the Yankees and Red Sox and all the big spenders are in on him too, can the Reds compete? Maybe, maybe not. You never know.
Yeah, do the Reds even have enough money to pay him for what he wants?
Well, now it's time for the National League West. The Diamondbacks. How seriously should you take 2020? The D-backs were very excited going into 2020, and it turned out to be a total disaster. They reacted to that quickly. The question is whether or not they'll take 2020 seriously as a harbinger of future problems, or consider it an anomaly season played under unprecedented conditions. I think it's because they're just gonna make an excuse that there was the
You
flu.
sound like the guy from the meme. And have you ever had a dream? And that's what you sound like.
Okay, we'll just carry on. Alright.
Just quickly carry on.
So hard not to laugh.
Dodgers. When does the fitting reign start? The Dodgers do have some questions to answer this offseason, but there is plenty of time for that. It hasn't even been a week. Enjoy this. You've been waiting a long time for it.
Now, the Giants. Of course, I'm from the Bay Area, my favorite team. Who will they get for their rotation? The Giants were a happy surprise this season, but they suddenly missing a bunch of rotation pieces. Can they cobble together enough pieces to stay afloat? Bringing back Kevin Gausman and Drew Smyly might be the path of least resistance.
The Padres. How do you build on that? The loss to the Dodgers in the NL Division Series was a bummer, but remember, this is a Padres team with the best winning percentage in franchise history. There's a lot to work with here. Will A.J. Preller tinker around the edges, or will he get even more aggressive?
See, I don't like Padres fans for the second sentence of what you said.
Okay, we get it. You're a Dodgers fan.
All right. They say it's a bummer, but the Padres were never going to beat the Dodgers, and I think that's pretty easy to say. Padres fans are so confident because they made the playoffs. So confident.
Okay, Mr. Dodgers fan, we get it.
But how about the Rockies? All right. What do they do with Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story? The Rockies are in a bind because Arenado is great, but very expensive, coming off his worst season. and has an opt-out after 2021. Story was an all-world player last year, but will be a free agent after next season. How do they navigate all of that in the strange new universe of the pandemic? Arenado, if this is his worst year, I don't know what to say because he still won the Gold Glove. Tell me how he did that.
Yeah,
Tell me,
Arenado's
please.
Arenado. Anybody who was Arenado is Arenado.
And people are still calling Trevor Story a top 5 shortstop in the league.
Yeah, but he is.
Please.
Well, I
Tell
think that's going to be it for this episode of Off-Season News. We'll keep you updated for more when the season goes along. And we're going to be having a football series coming out right after this, or it could be out at the same time. You never know.
You never know. So it seems
See
to
ya.
be that Grant's audio cut out, so he won't be able
I'm
to
good.
say bye.
I'm
So I'll
good.
say bye for
I'm
him.
good.
Okay,
Okay.
can you say bye, please, to the audience?
Do I have to?
Yes,
Why?
you are a guest.
Fine. Goodbye to the 20 people that are actually watching this. And thanks,
Okay,
Mom,
that's
for
cool. All
subbing.
right.